Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dave Russell. Well, on Thursday's midday shows, Joel Penorwood sits down with a Grow Next Gen teacher leader and science teacher at Fort Jennings High School to discuss soil and water quality in the classroom. Brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and soybean farmers. Well, let's join Dale with an industry update from the National Association of Farm Broadcasters Convention. Dale?
Joining me from Edge Dairy Farmer Cooperative is Tim Trotter. Tim, nice to see you. Let's talk a little about the recent action as we see dairy producers and their milk marketing pricing. What should we know now about our future?
Well, right now, this is the first time in 15 years there's been a national hearing. USDA has proposed their final rule. Now the vote will go to farmers throughout the nation to vote on whether it makes sense to them. You know, up in the upper Midwest, we have high utilization of manufacturing. We don't have a lot of fluid milk, so the impact for the upper Midwest is not as positive as it is for the fluid milk areas like in the Southeast. But again, farmers will be voting on this. You know, again, we're looking for more reforms. You know, the concern we have is milk that's not currently in the federal order system. There's no assurance that they will have timely payments from the people they ship to. Also, in the federal orders, they provide the service of testing the milk to make sure they're getting paid for the components correctly. So there's a couple things we'll do in the Farm Bill to safeguard farmers who are outside of the federal order. But again, it's a historic moment, but it's not a blazing bullet of success for dairy.
Tim Trotter, my guest, as we visited a booth titled Voice of Milk.
Thanks, Dale. And to hear the full interview, check out the featured audio at ohioagnet.com. A new report says banks could be more hesitant to lend to the farm sector just as the agricultural industry is expected to enter a major credit crunch. Rabobank says that could disproportionately hurt smaller producers in the process. Although farmers have built up somewhat of a liquidity buffer to manage the downturn, Rabobank says those savings are expected to run out by the next crop year. Demand for farm loans is set to climb to levels not seen since 2013, with producers expected to increase their borrowing by billions of dollars over the next several years. The American Farm Bureau Federation Thanksgiving Cost Survey shows the traditional ingredients in a holiday dinner will cost a little less this year.
The American Farm Bureau Federation sent out volunteer shoppers to calculate the cost of a typical Thanksgiving Day meal for 10 people. Barrett Nelson, an economist for AFBF, talks about what they found.
So according to our volunteer shoppers, the average cost of a Thanksgiving meal for 10 people is $58.08, or about $5.80 a person. This is about 5% lower than last year, but it's almost 20% higher than just 5 years ago. So even though we've had 2 years of decline in prices, this doesn't erase the dramatic increases that we saw that led to record high prices in 2022.
He says shoppers will see increases in the price of several items.
The biggest increases were kind of in some of the big ticket items. So we had foods like stuffing and dinner rolls. These went up by about 8%. The biggest price increase was in the price of cranberries. So this was up 12% this year. And something to keep in mind is that cranberries saw a significant decrease last year, around 18% drop in prices. According to our survey, this year's price increase puts cranberries closer to the historic norms.
Chad Smith, Washington.
Senate Ag Chair Debbie Stabenow spoke on the Senate floor and introduced the Rural Prosperity and Food Security Act. Farm Policy News says her Senate bill and the House-approved bill differ in multiple ways. The markets are next.
Hi, everyone. This is Dale Minio from the Ohio AgNet. For a quarter of a century, I powered my truck with biodiesel, traveling the state promoting agriculture. Biodiesel is a reliable, high-performance fuel that works in any diesel engine without modification. The best part is that with every mile driven, I'm fueling the economy, doing good for the environment, and supporting soybean farmers. Learn how using biodiesel can add value to every bushel of soybeans grown at soyohio.org.
Since 1926, Nationwide has been rooted in agriculture. Founded as the Farm Bureau Mutual Automobile Insurance Company with a mission to protect farmers and their communities, we honor our legacy by offering solutions that evolve with the complex needs of today's farms. As the leading insurer of America's farms and trusted by 8 farm bureaus for 100 years and counting, Nationwide is on your side. Number 1 insurer based on 2023 direct written premium per AM Best. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
The market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. At the Board of Trade, December corn $4.30 1/4 up 3. March corn $4.40 up 2 1/4. January beans $9.90 1/2 down 8. March beans $9.99 1/4 down 9 1/4. July wheat $5.89 1/4 up a nickel. At the Mercantile Exchange, December cattle $186.30 down 27 cents. December hogs $80.52 up 97 cents. January feeder cattle $252.32 up 32 cents. This is the Ohio AgNet.